Alright, so today's video is going to be kind of an easy one here because the 7-up Octaver is easily one of my favorites and easiest to dial in effects in the Plethora tone print series. It's kind of tempting even to just get the standalone version of this just because I like it so much. I believe on the standalone that the sub octave 1 and 2 are on different knobs. I should have looked that up. Easy to check on it though. Let's see, so because it's kind of DSP heavy, not as bad as some of them, I'm not able to load in all 5 slots here. But there's a ton of different great tone prints out there that go beyond just even what you would expect with the low and the high mixing and everything. So let me just run through some of these. I'm playing my Telecaster, using the Simplifier kind of Marshall settings right now. I have the volume down a little bit lower just because I don't want to peak anything out once I start getting into the really sub octaves and stuff. But let's go ahead. I think most of these are set like 50 all the way across, or just straight up on the settings here. So let's first try the octave flanger. And this is one of the tone prints here. I might as well just stay in here. Alright, so with it off, and it is polyphonic, so it will track pretty well with chords. And I guess a cool sound going there too. Like I said, this is the octave flange. Some of these extra parameters are like within the tone print app where, I've only got dry sub up, and then like if there's a double sub on one, then it'll show up under here. But I love having all the different tone prints available. I've got quite a few saved in the unit. I think you can save like 70 something tone prints per effect in here, which is awesome, really, just to be honest. So again, I'm still on that one. And a cool effect there, especially if you're just playing single note stuff. Cool chord stuff. It's unique, it's cool. A little bit of that drivey growl to it. It's a little bit of drive. Yeah, that's nice. Also, I should point out that I've got the effects loop inserted right in between slots 2 and 3, which means that these two are coming straight from the guitar and then into the simplifier, where these two are going to be in the effects loop. So let's go ahead and move on to the second slot here, which is the just classic sound. So as opposed to the first one, we have the sub-level 2 now. See, that one just has the 1, this one has the 2. Still polyphonic, but a little messy. And let's maybe just kind of explore. So the dry signal is dropped just a little bit. It's how it's minus 5 dB, so it's all the way up. It's 0. It's not boosted or anything. But then these sub levels here are obviously 100%. 100 decibels down is obviously going to be quiet as I bring it up, though. And the max it's going to get to is 0. It's not going to be a boost. Same with the up as well. I like how it responds to the string bending as well. So I'll go ahead and set this one back a little bit more usable, kind of straight up there, close to it. Now, the next two that I'm going to show are going to be, again, in the effects loop. So we'll see if there's a difference in the sound of that. Okay. So this one, I'm using this in stereo, so it definitely has kind of a mono feel. And I don't know if it's this particular setting. I might try flipping them around here and see if it makes a difference, but I feel like I get that stereo spread. It's got a little bit of that kind of organy sound with it too, even though it's the 7-up default. A little bit of that kind of fluttering going on with it there. I think this one has a mash feature too. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of speeds up. And when you do the mash, you can see this little circle appear. That shows like the degree that you're mashing it in. And that can actually be edited in the TonePrint app. You get like a grid with almost a compressor looking kind of slope to it there, and you can set the 0, the 25, 50, 75, and then fully mashed. And that's very similar to mapping the expression stuff too. I'll have to do a video on that at some point, but yeah, I like that. What's this one sound like? I think this one's similar. Yeah, you just get kind of a flutter, a faster flutter on that. Classic. Okay. Like it's kind of spreading out a little with that mash. I really like that, and that's just the 7-up default. So that would be one that would, I think, be just right available at the flip of a switch on the standalone unit. And then this is the polyphonic organ generator. It's the last one that I have here. As much with the mash on that one. Also doesn't have the same stereo spread, but cool. And I mean, I've got this looper in the last spot there. Kind of the idea being that if I was to need to make a loop of some kind with like a bass track, and then I could do guitar chords and with no effect, and then maybe layer a lead in using like a higher octave there. That's just kind of the thought. Let's see, you can have 4 of those in there. What else will it take? So you can see the Octaver is kind of gray and black, which means that it will not let me put one of those in there. But the phaser, it will. Pitch shifter will not. Reverb won't, tremolo will, vibe won't, vibrato will, the echo won't. What else? Noise gate will, the harmony will not, the flanger will, the doubler will not. That would be cool if you were able to put that in there, but you probably just take away one of the octave pedals and you could fit that in there. No delay, you could do the compressor or the chorus. So yeah, kind of interesting there. What all you can do. Let me, I don't want to go, too crazy long on this one, because, again, this is an effect that I love. I could switch out guitars, I could change settings on the Simplifier, but I'll save that for stuff down the road. Let me just do this one thing, though. I kind of want to hear what would happen if I swap the sub and up a default with the classic, maybe, because the classic... That's pretty cool, and then this one had that cool spread. Let's see if that carries over. So I gotta hold the 2 buttons down, and now they just switched. So this one is now coming in straight from the guitar. Okay, so it's still got the effect, but nowhere near the spread that it had when it was going through the effects loop in stereo. Still got that little flutter going on. Okay, and then what about the classic in the effects loop? Okay. Let's do something else real quick, because this is interesting having it in the loop as well. It's still got some stereo spread sound, but not, I don't feel like as much as that other one. What if I do this? I'm going to drop the dry sound completely out, drop the up sound completely out, and let's go full sub. Alright, gotta watch the clipping there, so I can lower it quite a bit. There we go. See, I can adjust things out here to kind of balance that out too. that's a pretty nice, bass tone there. And then what would happen if I drop that all the way out and I'm just messing with the octave up? Kind of weird. It's got kind of like a chimey. Of course, you can probably hear a little bit of my just straight strumming because the microphone is only about a foot away from the strings that I'm plucking. Let's mix some dry back in with that. And a little sub. Come on. Interesting. Yeah, the up is interesting. I don't know that I like it as much as the sub down. I mean, that sounds really good. And I've not got a lot of experience with some of the drop tuning pedals, like I think it's the Ricochet is a popular one, and there's a few others. But I really like the Octaver that's in here. I'll sometimes even set it kind of subtle and then just throw it on if I'm playing like a single note passage or something, so that you don't really know what you're feeling, but it thickens it up just a little bit. And I've got some of those set up on some of my boards the way that I like them. Let's see. Again, what happens if they're all on? Sounds wonderful. Write a song out of that. There we go. Let's flip these again. I think that I definitely like the sub and up default plugged in stereo. This is the first time I've really experimented with a lot of these effects, hearing them in stereo, because I usually just use one amp when I'm playing. But that's one of the things the Simplifier lets me get away with. So I think I like both of these in the respective spots that I had them in. Typically, I think you would want to put an octave or a pitch shifting effect kind of earlier in your signal so that it doesn't have a whole bunch of interference from distortions or compressors or, things that you might not want stacked into it. However, and I'm not running a bunch of other effects right now. However, these in the effects loop sounded surprisingly better than I thought. So again, it might not work if you're running a whole bunch of effects into these quite as well as it is me doing it dry, but something to consider trying out. I know a lot of people are either intimidated by 4-cable method and some of the things you have to wrap your head around, or just the extra equipment you have to bring, a few extra cables and the right length and everything. I mean, it can be a little bit of a hassle, but I hope that these videos are kind of showing some of the advantages and how good some of this stuff really does sound when you do that. I'll go ahead and wrap this one up for today, but thank you guys very much for sticking with this. I guess the next video, going alphabetically, will be the Helix Phaser, which is a cool one that was added in an update a little while back. But again, thank you very much, and I will see you then.